What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's an overcast day today, but it's Halloween, so I got the costume on and I'm getting ready to get in a new beer review. Now, I should probably be doing a pumpkin beer because it's Halloween, but I got a bunch of those early in the month and drank them. I went to the shops and most of them are gone by now. Pumpkin beers don't really seem to last too long, so I don't think many people want round two of pumpkin beers because I think once you get through the initial novelty of having the seasonal offering, most people are on to the next thing. So I picked this up instead, and this is called Permanent Funeral. This is from Floyds Brewing. You can see by the can art, super cool. And this is a collaboration with a band called Pig Destroyer. Now, I wish the Yeti were here for this review, because I'm sure he'd probably be more familiar with this band than I am. It seems that they are a grindcore band out of Alexandria, Virginia, and they said they're one of the better known ones in that genre. Now, like I said, I listen to the metal that we used to listen to in like the 80s and 90s, and I listen to Amon Amarth because the Yeti put me on to them, and I got to meet them when I went out to Floyd, so I kind of have an affinity for them. I just don't know much about this band, but it seems pretty cool. If Floyds is partnering up with them, they got to be pretty good. So in the past, they've collaborated with other metal bands. So this one here is an Amon Amarth one that they did, and this is with the band Skeleton Witch. And I know there are a few others that the Yeti and I have had over the years. So, you know, if it's band related, got a creepy horror motif on the label there, seems fitting for Halloween. Now this one is an Imperial or double IPA, 10.5% ABV, 100 IBUs. So this is a real deal. Now, if you guys know, I'm not a huge IPA dude, so we'll see how this goes. Wow, I can smell that right out of the can. Kind of picking up like citrusy notes. It's kind of weird. Oh, good lord, piney. And citrusy. You kind of get both. Interesting. I think pine's the most dominant smell, though. All right. Go to our color on our Brew HQ chart here. This has got like a nice kind of orangey color to it. Golden orangey. Maybe like a 7. Pale amber. Maybe 7 or 8 pale amber. It's got a nice color to it. Fair amount of carbonation. There's small little bubbles. The head looks magnificent. I mean, that's 2.5 fingers, a big white frothy head. It looks nice. Doesn't look like that's going anywhere. No dissipation there, right? A lot of times you pour a beer and you get a big old robust head and it does like a soda head and just goes, whoop. This is not doing that. So it looks nice in the can. The nose is pretty inviting. I will say this. I think when you smell this, you know this is going to be a big boy IPA. Which scares me. Maybe that's why I'm drinking it on Halloween, right? Let's give it a shot. I will say this. I don't know about you guys. I enjoy Halloween, but where I live, today is actually the 31st. I'm recording this and releasing it the same day. Very rarely do I do that. We actually celebrated Halloween in Findlay on Saturday that just passed. So basically like a week before Halloween almost. Was when the kids went out trick-or-treating, which I don't mind. You want to keep kids safe and all that kind of jazz, but I don't know. It makes you feel like Halloween's over. So today was Halloween. I went to class in my outfit. No students showed up in their costumes, which was a bit disappointing. Even walking around campus, I didn't really see anybody else in costumes. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot, but today's Halloween. It's actually Halloween on the 31st, and I'm going to live like it is Halloween. I'm going to wear my costume regardless. All right. I've talked so much, the head has finally started to dissipate. It's doing that big island thing where it breaks up in big chunks on the top there. I don't know. If I dip it too far, it'll probably pour everywhere. But it looks pretty good. Let's give this thing a shot. Cheers. Oh, big old sip. First thing I'm going to say is this. You see 100 IBUs, and I think most people think run for the hills if you're not a hophead. I don't think it's overpowering as far as bitterness. So even though this is 100 IBUs, and most of the beers I have are probably more like 10 because I'm more of a malty dude, it's not offensive or overpowering in that kind of way. So now look, if you hate hops, probably not the beer for you. But if you're kind of on the fence where I am with hoppier beers like IPAs, I don't think that this is so hoppy that it's an immediate put off and you don't want it. So that's that. All right, let's get back to this and check the body. Body, medium on the higher end of medium or lower end of full. I had expected this to be a little more syrupy because this is an Imperial IPA or double IPA. In my experience, a lot of times they tend to be a little syrupy. Now, as far as the quality of this beer, it does really well on the social. So Untappd, a 4.26 with 55,000 check-ins. So that's not a 4.26 with the brewer and 6 of their buddies saying they like it. This is 55,000 people had this and gave it a 4.26. That's on Untappd. So what does that mean? There's probably some people that hate IPAs, drank this, said, oh my God, it's so hoppy, it's crap, and gave it a 0, which probably skews the numbers a wee bit. But 4.26, that's really good. Beer Advocate, 4.49. So a little bit higher there, and that's probably what I'd expect, because a style like this isn't for everybody. Beer Advocate is kind of more for casual drinkers, I think. So all you gotta do is scan the label, take a picture if you want to, hit the little slider, what you want to give it as a grade, and hit enter. Not much to it. Whereas you go on Beer Advocate, you actually got to take the time to go on there, write it up. You probably need a computer. I don't even think they have an app that I'm aware of. Hey, baby girl. Roxy's coming out for Halloween. Hey, girl. You going to hang out and do a video with me? It's okay. I think she's here for my beard oil because it's nice and sweet. She likes to try to get my beard oil. But it does really well. And as far as the overall rating on Beer Advocate, 99, world class. So I picked this up over at Beverage Barn in Findlay here. I think I got a 4-pack, if I'm not mistaken. 4-pack, 16-ounce cans. They came in like a box. And I think it was $18 for the 4-pack. It was $17. It was either $16.99 or $17.99. A little bit expensive. To be honest, I jumped on it because there wasn't many Halloween beers left. And also I knew the band was tied in, so I thought maybe the Yeti would like this because obviously he's a heavy metal fan. But then when I checked on Untappd, he's had it twice already. So I don't know. Maybe he doesn't need it. Nonetheless, it's here and I'm checking it out. So talked about the body, talked about the color, talked about the aroma. What's it taste like? It's a good beer. I mean, I will say there's some hoppiness throughout, don't get me wrong, but it's not overpowering. As far as other tastes, I think you definitely pick up more of a piney, resinous kind of presence than anything else. That being said, I think you also do get a little bit of a citrusy something up front. And I can't say that I can place it, whether it's like orange or what exactly a citrus, what exact citrus taste it is. But it's kind of like a citrusy, fruity bit up front. And then it kind of leads into that piney, resinous thing. Now, the bitterness is kind of consistent throughout, but I think you pick it up most pronounced when you actually swallow it. Probably not a huge surprise there. For a 10.5% beer, no huge alcohol burn. I think you get a little bit, so you know this isn't a Coors Light, obviously. But I don't think it hits too hard for 10.5%. Kind of letting it sit there and drink it a little more slowly. I think you actually pick up a bit of like a caramel malt too, which is surprising because you do have so much going on with those big bitter flavors. But you do pick up that caramel malt kind of backbone there. Not super pronounced. I think the bitterness obviously outweighs the maltiness, but there is some maltiness there as well. It's not just strictly a hop bomb. Now, again, if you're looking at balancing hoppy and malty, it's definitely more hoppy. But it does have enough of a malt presence that, I don't know, I think it cuts the bitterness a little bit and makes it a little more appealing for those of us that maybe just don't want nothing but bitterness. So for me, this is a pretty solid beer. It's a little blurb here on the back. The wolf inside this Imperial IPA is trying to walk upright. The bright and aromatic beer was brewed with our friends in the band Pig Destroyer. And then it says 3 Floyds. And again, if you haven't been out there, man, go out there. It's a brilliant little brewery. I was out there a few years back with the Yeti for Dark Lord Day, which was an absolute amazing experience. It was such a weird crowd, and you had all the beer drinkers plus all the metal folks. Some of them were metal folks that like beer, so you had a little bit of overlap. But it's kind of like, what do they call them? The circles. I forget what they call them. It's not a Venn diagram. I forget what they call them. Where you have like the overlapping circles. It's like metalheads, beer nerds, and then there's that slight intersection. Really cool event. They make really good beers. They tend to be on the hoppier side. That's kind of their thing. It's not normal, more hopped up beers. But I quite like this. I mean, this is something that if it wasn't Halloween, I would probably avoid because of the menacing artwork, 10.5%. And I think, oh my God, Imperial IPA, this is going to kill me. But it really didn't. I mean, it gets a 99 world class, so obviously it's a good representation of the style. But for someone who's not a big IPA dude, it's good. I enjoy it. So it would get a big thumbs up for me as well. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. As always, got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Are you one of the 55,000 people that checked into this on Untappd? If so, let me know what you think about it. If you haven't, let me know what you're drinking this Halloween. What's the spookiest beers you got around? Hey, is what it is. Hope you all have a wonderful, safe Halloween. Don't drink any of those pixie sticks that are poisoned or whatever they might be. Be careful for the apples. They might have razor blades in them. And if you have any Twix bars, just send them to me. I'll make sure they're not poisoned. Till next time, cheers.